Hello. Oh, Fifi. Hello. Good morning, Jivo. How's it going? How we do? Good morning, Tritopus. Good morning, Balin. I hope you're all having a lovely day so far. Morning, Zara. Good morning, Hansen. The bunnies were so snuggly when I came downstairs. Fifi has woken up into a bit of a chaos mood, but she's, are there any binkies in there? Or is it just wanting breakfast? It's just breakfast want, isn't it? Just breakfast. No binkies yet. Good morning, David. Morning, Achancho. Cherry? Oh my gosh, hello. Here you go. Hungry buns. They do eat, honestly. They have had they have had food before. Despite how desperate for food they always seem. Megalomania, thank you very much for the 49 months. Good morning. How you doing? Fifi has non-chaos mood. She does a little bit. Sometimes. Sometimes she's snuggly. Good morning, Asenta and Huvian and Darius. Gonna top you up a little bit. There you go. There you go. Good morning, Ravane and Max and Lily and Alex. How you all doing? How's it going? Supposed to eating this Aussie? No, they eat. They do. They even had some pellets before the stream. I have to give them like little offerings when I open up the pellet chest, otherwise they won't ever forgive. Bambi, thank you very much for the 10 months. 10 months, woo! Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Stella. How's it going? How are you all upon this fine Thursday ? Morning. Morning, Sam. It's just this week has been so all over the place that I'm like a little bit like, huh? It'll be nice when I'm not looking forward to traveling tomorrow because I don't really like traveling very much. But I don't like traveling when there's like a deadline, I guess. When you're just like, I'm just going to get on a train and go here. That's like, But when you're like, we need to be here by this place, then it's like, oh, rescued a mouse from my room last night and it bit me thrice. Oh no! A few more days until my last final for uni and then I graduate. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. Here you go, Jerry boy. But yes, good morning, Rob. I can't remember what I did. Like on Monday, what did I do? Why was Monday complicated? Oh, Monday was Stardew, and I had work to do in the morning. And then Tuesday, we were filming a members video in the morning, but I still had to get work done before that. And then it was trying to stream from the office, which always makes me a little bit nervous. And then Wednesday, yesterday, editing in the morning. Then I had to go into the office a bit last minute to do recording. Then, sorry there wasn't a bun stream yesterday. Lily, thank you very much for the 20 months. Hope everyone is healthy. Thank you for keeping me company on so many late nights. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Alex, he needed to be home and I needed to record. So I was hoping to do a bunny stream before, but then I was like, no, I need to leave now to get into the office to be there on time sort of thing. But yeah, then I had the craft stream straight away after. When I got home last night, I was so tired because I think like socializing does tire me out anyways. So then having money, Alex, money, my love. Ad for Klondike ice cream before your stream, be nice. Yeah, if you could like tailor your ads a little bit. I mean, even if it was just stuff like, to make it a bit closer to, because there's times when I go and watch a streamer and it's just like them playing like Cozy Stardew or something, and you get an ad for some big like uh war film or something. And I'm just like, this isn't easing me into the game. It'd be nice if you could tailor it a bit more. Good morning, Lovato. I'm overall good, but a little bit nervous for my impending hospital trip. Oh, well, fingers crossed it'll all be good, and you should treat yourself to something lovely when you come out for being brave and doing good. But yeah, it is a bit scary staying overnight. But I hope that I saw the posting schedule and thought it was for today. Wait, what was the posting schedule? Oh, about having to go in. No. I mean, I do have to go in today for Tears of the Kingdom, but yes, crafting and socializing is a lot of energy. That's the thing. It's like I need, the week tends to work itself out quite nicely for me because I have my office days on Thursday and Friday, and then obviously you get the weekend and it's like, recovery. Whereas this week I've just been in the office every single day, so and then I'm having probably the most social weekend I could possibly have. So yeah, come Monday I'm gonna be absolutely knackered. But in a good way, a very lovely knackered that I am grateful for. War plus cars plus lads equal the perfect ad for cozy streamers. Yeah. Oh, Fifi, you look so respectable. The craft stream was so wholesomely cast. I really enjoyed it. It's just one of those things that with Lego, it's like difficult to remember to talk. I find that with a lot of craft streams actually, when you're like just so focused on enjoying doing the thing, and then you suddenly realize like, oh, hang on, we're meant to be streaming and being entertaining as well. And I'm just like, my brain has just gone into that cozy like craft state where I'm just like la 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 la, I'm having a nice time. But it was really nice. It's always nice to get Simon on when we can. My friend has recommended bringing my iPad for drawing and magic playing, so I hope that helps. Yeah, those are very nice distractions. And I do hope everything goes well. Anything with Simon and Nina will not remain wholesome for more than 5 minutes. This is true. Nina is the bad influence. I wish I was Gerry right now, snuggled up on your little blankie. I quite like the quieter craft streams. It's a comfortable quiet. Yeah, that's true actually. I hope it like never comes across as like a awkward silence. Because it is just people enjoying being in each other's company and doing a nice activity. Rather than being like, what are we going to talk about? Like it was always true, right? Lewis flashback intensifies. I mean, I was thinking like, oh, maybe it would have gone quicker if I had have known for everyone. But then it's just so like, it's so rare that I get my little mitts on Lego that I was like, oh, I want to build. I want to build some Lego. I'm getting such an intense look from Fifi at the moment. It's quite, I mean, she might not even be looking at me, as is the way that Bunny's eyes work. She could be not even paying attention to what she's looking at and just be in a zen mood of her own. Good morning, Thomas. It's a sign of a good friendship when you can sit and just enjoy a silence. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, very often, thank you for the follow. Very often when, oh, morning, Dave. When Kirsty comes down, like, you'd think that we very rarely see each other, so we'd, like, want to fill our time with stuff. Like, 90% of the time, Kirsty and I will literally just sit in silence under a blanket and just cuddle up and maybe have a nap. And won't really say anything. And occasionally just sort of be like, wait, did you see this? Here's a funny video of a dog. And then be like, yeah, it's nice. And then go back to quiet. Come on in, Reuben. So yeah, I would just enjoy, because it's rare I get to just be in her company sort of thing. I am trying to, one in Mexico's, this is a comfort zone of you, yes. I am trying to organize something for a comfort zone, and I think we might have. Gerry just went to lick the chair, but his tongue just sort of hovered a little bit away from it, and then he pulled away. That is just a strange little thing to do, my love. But I love you despite all your quirks and foibles. But what was I going to say? That's completely thrown my train of thought. Oh yeah, comfort zone. Yeah, I think we might have decided what we're going to do. We just have to settle on a date and also decide how much of a budget we want to spend. Because basically, we've been talking about spending a night somewhere overnight for a comfort zone and like record the night before, like basically like a special sleepover episode, and record the night before and then record in the morning and have like a special episode that way for episode 100. But I've been looking at places, like I want the place to like really feel the part, and some of them so basically I found this this place. Where was it? Was it in Shrewsbury? But it was so expensive, but so fancy, and it had like a staircase that went up to the bed. That's how fancy it was. It was literally like the bed was like here. Well, the bed was like here, and then it was raised up. It had a sofa in front of it, and it just had these little staircases leading up either side to the bed. And I was like, imagine that. Imagine you're like, shall we go to bed, darling? And you're like, yes. And then you both ascend your side of the staircase to get into bed. It was just ridiculous. But in a weird way, because I never really stay. I mean, the place we're staying. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I've stayed in the Hilton once. That is probably like the fanciest place I've ever stayed. But I didn't enjoy it. And that was like modern fancy. Whereas I'm talking like old school fancy, like Georgian fancy. Even though we're not going to stay in any of these places, I've really enjoyed looking through the pictures of the hotels and just being like, my gosh, that's fancy. Because, to be honest, like a lot of them are like 4-poster beds. But I don't think I'd want to stay. I wouldn't mind staying in a 4-poster bed, but I wouldn't want to stay in one with the curtains drawn, because I think that would, like, it would feel like you were just shutting off some of your senses and getting into a strange place. And for me, I'm like, no, I mean, obviously you're likely to be safe in a hotel with security and people looking out for you, and you're probably not going to be murdered. But I think it would just go against natural feelings of safety to pull a little curtain around you that impaired your vision and probably deafened you to signs of intruders. Is anyone else just very tense when they go to bed? Is it just me? I stayed in the Waldorf Astoria in Berlin, and that was too fancy. Oh my gosh. It was for weird and fancy places. Yeah, me too. It's the most rabbit logic ever. True. Yeah. Well, the first time Alex and I stayed in a hotel together, was it the first time It was in Oxford, and it was like very early on when we were dating. And well, I guess I'd gone to stay with him, but this was our first place alone, like at a hotel sort of thing. It was this teeny tiny place in Oxford, and it was really lovely. And just before we were about to nod off, Alex said something about like, oh, I was reading this interesting fact earlier. And his interesting fact was about the statistics of how many people get murdered in hotels every year. And then he just fell asleep. And I was just lying awake for ages, just like, are we okay? And it was such a like teeny tiny, it was more of like a hostel than a hotel, I guess. And it was a shared bathroom, so you had to like leave your room to go to the bathroom and stuff. And I was just lying awake for like half the night, like, I'm scared in case I need to go pee. Dear oh dear. Good morning, Kaino. So yeah. What did I walk into? Oh, Alex's spooky facts about murders in hotels when we were staying in a hotel together for the first time. But yes, I think like I've got like a fairly cheapish option that Kirsty and I could stay in, which is actually in Bristol, so there's not much travel, and it's because basically we want to stay in a haunted place, like a place that has sightings and stories. And there is one in Bristol, which funnily enough is the place that I got my family to stay in when they came down for the wedding. No one mentioned anything. Spoopy though. But then again, I wasn't paying attention to anything anyone did anyway on that day. But what is she up to? What's she do? So that's like the cheaper option. And then good morning, Duncan. I found like slightly more spenny but more look the part, because like a lot of these old buildings, if like I appreciate that this is probably what most people want, but a lot of the old buildings, they like look spoopy on the outside, but on the inside they've just been done up like modernized to look just like the inside of a Premier Inn sort of thing. So I'm just like, well, that doesn't, you want it to like feel the part, but like so many places just don't look how they look on the outside. Which I guess I can appreciate. It's probably more upkeep to have like a fancy inside place. Can you just say your own house is haunted and stay there? But that's not, I did say to Kirsty that I want to get a twin room because I stayed up. I heard Ooey is haunted. Best do some research there. That's why it's called Ooey. But I was like, oh yeah, we should stay in a haunted place. That would be a fun episode. And then I spent ages reading through all the stories of all these haunted places, and then I messaged her at like 1 a.m. being like, but we're staying in a twin room because I'm not staying on my own. She was like, okay. So is trying to find a place that we can share a room and isn't too spenny as well. There's a hotel in Glasgow I stayed in with my boyfriend once that we called the Shinning Hotel, as it was really empty, but looks like it was once fancy. Yeah, see, this is the thing, like, so many, Chili Daddy also has some spooky spice levels, best investigate that too. There's, like, I have been so surprised at the price of some of these places, because I know, like, fancy place is going to be fancy. But, I thought you were making a joke about The Shining, because in The Simpsons they call it The Shinning. And I was like, oh, I thought it was a reference to that, sorry. There's that Treehouse of Horrors episode where they basically reenact The Shining. You want to get sued? But there was uh yeah, there's so many places that I look at, and like some places are like 60 odd quid, and I'm like, yeah, that's reasonable. But then some of them, there was ones that were like 300, £400 a night. And I'm like, who's spending that just for a night? Like, how much money do you have that you're spending like £400 literally for a room? It's absolute madness to me. But then again, I guess people do be doing it because otherwise these hotels wouldn't be in business. I won't tell you the most expensive room I've stayed in. I dread to think how much the Hilton cost when I stayed there. I did this shoot in London. Oh, it was the D&D one where I did the 6 hours of D&D. And obviously my time slot for that was 6 until midnight. So I got put up in a Hilton, and it was like 40 minutes away from where we were staying, maybe more. So I finished filming at midnight and then chatted to everyone and said bye to like the team I'd been working with and stuff. So I got into this Hilton room at like gone 1 in the morning, and then I left at like 8 in the morning. So they paid for this really expensive room for me to sleep for like 6 hours and then leave. And there wasn't anything vegan on the breakfast menu. So I think I had like a juice. They had this really fancy like executive lounge that I could be in, which was like I can't remember what they call it in the Hilton, but it was like, the fancy bit that not everyone gets to stay in. Turns out they also had a swimming pool that I could have had access to, but because I didn't get there until 1, I hadn't really brought my swimming costume. So yeah, it must have cost a lot. And fruit juice is vegan. You say that, but sometimes genuinely orange juice isn't. I think it was in this place, but yeah, you do. It is actually one of the things you have to watch out for, which you would have thought would be the most simple thing on the earth. A squeezed orange. How do they manage to unveganize it? And yet they do. Does it have bugs in it? No, it sometimes has fish in it, would you believe? I don't think it's a very common thing in the UK. But I think it might be more of an American thing. But they filter it through isinglass, which is fish, like in beer. Yeah. So something where you think all you've had to do, I gave you one job, and it was to squeeze oranges into a glass. And somehow you managed to get fish in there. What the heck? But yeah, I think most orange juice in the UK is fine though. But yeah, that was I thought it was going to be, oh yeah, good old fashioned milk powder. I think they could have just put me in like a teeny tiny. Honestly, I would have happily stayed in. There was a Premier Inn around the corner, and I quite like a Premier Inn. Gerry, no, don't fall over. Oh, my poor baby boy. You went a bit too hard for it then, didn't you? I've still got a few pellets I can give you. Don't get overexcited though. It's literally like 3, and Fifi will steal 2 of them, so you're actually going to have 1. Here you go, Gerry. She's already eaten them. In that time, she already inhaled both, but you got 1 extra one, so that's nice. My little vacuum. Oh, Fifi. Anything but a travel lodge. I don't know if I've ever stayed in a travel lodge. I stayed in a Premier Inn in Wembley when we went to the wrestling. For like 1 night, that was. Was it just 1 night? Was it? No, I guess it would have been. Well, I think it was 1 night. I think we travelled up on the day. And then But I can't think of anywhere else I've really stayed in the UK that I would have. Oh, I stayed in some bad places for what you call it. When I used to do camera work, they would just put you up. The worst place I ever got put up in was this pub in... Good morning, Limewood. I can't even remember where it was. I don't think... We stayed in Monmouthshire, but I don't think it was the one in Monmouthshire. But we stayed in one, like, above this pub, and it was... The rooms were absolutely filthy. But that wasn't the worst part about it. The worst part about it was they had timed it so that we were there for when there was a wake in the pub. And it went on until like the wee hours of the morning. And this massive like family fight broke out. And it was just shouting and things smashing. And the next day we like went to production and we were like, we don't want to stay there again. It's so horrible. And they put us up in the hotel that they had put the like higher ups in the crew in, because it was literally just all like the assistants, like the sound assistant and camera assistant, would just been put in like this awful place. But then there was another place that they put us in for that same shoot, where in fact it might have been the place that they moved us to afterwards. Where they, my friend's room had a bat in it. Because he messaged me like, how's your room? And I was like, it's nice. He was like, how's your bat? I was like, oh. He was like, oh, your room doesn't have a bat? Mine does. So I like ran up to his room so I could see this bat just flying around. And that was the first place that I ever had bread with oil and balsamic vinegar. Because that was the only vegan thing on the menu, and it was really nice. I was converted from that day. Morning, Monday. It was very lovely. I'm sure there's like other places that I stayed throughout the years though, but the thing is, like, when you're doing film work and you're like you're pretty much only sleeping there for like 6 hours and then leaving. So you don't really make the most of the day. Can buns have falafel? No. No. They don't really find falafel in the wild. And it's quite fried. And the oil would be very bad for them. But yes, yeah, we stayed in some bad places. But, you know, the hotels do more vegan options nowadays. I never realised how non-vegan they are until now. I guess because I don't really stay in many hotels. I don't really know. I would imagine that if you stay in ones in Bristol, probably. But if I ever go away anywhere, I tend to just stay in like an Airbnb. But the Premier Inn that we stayed in for Wembley, their vegan breakfast was really nice. Like I really liked it, and it had good options and stuff. But I don't know, like the place we're staying in Birmingham this weekend, because we booked in for an Airbnb and then had to move to a hotel because I'd booked it in the wrong place. And that hotel, the only thing that's listed on the breakfast that's vegan, it says like, we have vegan sausages, but there's no mention of if they're in anything or with anything or on anything. And I'm just like, is it literally just sausages? Is this all you can have? Just sausages in a bowl with oat milk poured on the top. So, but it does actually do a whatchamacallit, like a vegan cream tea that you can get for lunch. So I guess they must have some stuff around. Several years ago, I stayed at a hotel that had at least vegan yogurt. Yeah, a lot of places have Alpro yogurt. that will be like the saving grace. They might have like muesli and Alpro yogurt that you can sort of bodge together. Once with a friend, we took a trip to a small town between Liverpool and Manchester. We had to book this place in advance. Looks like a little old cottage hotel. Shown a room, it turned out to be the wrong one, much like a horror film where we moved to a room in the basement. Wait, what? Oh, jeez, that doesn't sound good. Oh, no. It's like, I remember there was one time, I can't remember why. For some reason, they put up, I think there wasn't space in the hotel they were putting everyone up in. So they put me and my friend, who was I was the camera trainee and he was the camera assistant. And they just put us up in this little, like, country B&B. It was just me and him in the middle of nowhere. Like, this was the only building surrounded by fields. And there was only 2 guest rooms. And it was just, like, us staying there, and it was really nice and out the way and so quiet, and it was really lovely. And I think they thought like, oh, sorry, like we're having to put you in here, there's no space in the nice hotel and stuff. And we were just like, no, this is actually really nice. I think we've lucked out staying here. It was like, oh, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, Mlee, how you doing? But yeah, it was very lovely. What cream for vegan cream tea? A lot of places will tend to have coconut, but I think oat cream is becoming a bit more popular. It used to, like a few years ago, whenever you went, it would tend to be coconut. But yeah, I think it has. I think it has moved now. But yes. I have a coconut intolerance. Much sad. I think coconut seems to be. You don't seem to get as much coconut stuff these days. I think oat is being boosted a lot more. But yeah, what was the other place we stayed in? It was like an eight-month job in the end, and we ended up staying here, there, and everywhere for it, which was nice. And I got to stay away twice with Holby as well. But I think maybe we were in a travel lodge for that. It was either Premier Inn or a travel lodge up in Shrewsbury, but I can't remember. There's another place that I stayed that I'm trying to remember what it was. It keeps on like popping into my memory. Whichever the one I stayed in Shrewsbury, so they stole my my childhood alarm clock. I left it in the room and I called them up literally like half an hour later when we were on the coach leaving, and they were like, "We've already thrown it away, sorry." I was like, "What? Why do you not have like a lost and found? What the heck?" I'd had it since I was little and I was so sad, and I've never been able to find one like it since. But that travelled like so far with me as well. I used to take it everywhere. But yeah, they just yeeted it the second we were gone. But yeah, favourite hotel brand? I don't really have one because I don't really go away. So I don't know. I've not left. Today is sadly not a Nana day on account of I forgot to buy bananas. I'm sorry. They can have a carrot coin. A little carrot coin. Not having a favourite hotel brand is the correct answer. Yeah, I don't really. The last few places I've gone, like we stayed, I guess our last holiday was the Isle of Scilly, and they just have their own rooms there. It's not really a brand thing. Where we went before that, I guess we stayed Yeah, before that was all just Airbnbs, I think, until Wembley. Uh, but yes, I can't really think of like when we stayed when I was little, we always used to stay in Formula Ones, which were like no, Formula One was like the fancier version, I think. Occasionally we would stay in there, but we would stay in ATAP, which is like the French versions, I guess, of like Premier and but we would stay in well, not really. They're a lot more basic than Premier, I'd say. But that's what we used to stay in when we were going like through France. Because we would go to like South France. And we used to stay in campsites. We would always just pull up into whichever campsite was available whenever Dad was getting tired of driving. But then as we got older, we Mum, they did start putting us up for like one night. I think it was a Formula One. It would always either be like a Formula One or a ATAP, one of the two. It was like less than £20 a night, yeah. And they were just like, they were so basic, but it was a bed for the night. So it was fine. And they used to have this really lovely hot chocolate. It was like, it must have been the like cheapest like sachet hot chocolate, but I used to love it so much. I would always like look forward to having one every year whenever we stayed. It was really good. And the other thing I remember about them is like they were the outside was always a box and all of the rooms were just boxes, and there would be like these little like communal toilets and stuff that you would go down to, and they would have set cleaning times. And one time I just remember being sat on this toilet and then all of a sudden the lights went out, and it was this like teeny tiny toilet, literally like the size of, not the height, but the width of under the table sort of thing. And the lights just went out and the cleaning cycle just began on this toilet, and I was just sat there like I'm just stuck. So they were an experience, but I have fond memories of staying in those as a little one. But yeah, they were good. They don't have race car beds, no, unfortunately. But yeah, I used to. Oh, I guess that was it. I guess it was when it used to. I guess if it was just me, would it maybe then be that we stopped going to campsites? Because we used to have this like massive family tent. But I guess if it was just me and my parents, because basically it was like a sideways bunk bed. So my parents would sleep on like a double bed like here, and then there would be a tiny bunk bed that just went across the top, small enough for a child, and I used to sleep up there. So I guess it was like if my brother and sister weren't staying and it was just me, I guess that's when we would go to one, instead of like having the whole massive tent for the three of us. But yes, my actual favourite hotels are like fancy lodges. Well, the place I'm most looking forward to staying is where Alex and I are going in June. Oh my gosh, my voice. June. Ah. Shrehalud. We're going down to a vegan guest house, and I'm so excited because like breakfast and dinner are covered. So I'm just not going to have to do any cooking or washing up for like 5 days. And all of the food sounds amazing as well. The only downside is apparently you all have to have the same thing. So there's like two guest rooms, and I guess if they get in there first with their suggestions, we have to have whatever they want. But also, that sounds like quite a nice holiday because I don't have to make a single decision for the entire 5 days either. I'll just be told what I'm eating, and then I don't have to make it. Good morning, Poke. Does I guess people would say like you could say like Dune and June the same, and people would not bat an eyelid. But I guess you would say them like Dune and June. But you could call it June, and people would know which film you were talking about. They wouldn't be like, huh? Huh? Thank you very much. Buckle Bob, thank you very much for, oh my gosh, a whole year. Thank you. Thank you. It's context, yeah. Yeah, in the same way that you can use any word for drunk and people will understand the context of what you're saying. Which is, I guess that is one of the things about not doing film work anymore, is that I did get to stay in a lot of like interesting places. Some interesting in different ways to others, whereas I don't really do that anymore. Still don't know more about the popcorn bucket than the plot. Oh no. As a teen, I was very confused when someone said I was so pissed. Well, see, that would mean angry. If someone's like, I'm pissed. Do not know the expression as being drunk. Whereas if... Oh, hello. She's just grooming my hair clip, my fuzzy little hair clip. Hello, you having fun up there? Hello. What's happening? She's just having fun. She is having fun. I guess I could give the bunnies their little snack. It's not very exciting today. If I mix mint with other stuff, Gerry tends not to like it, so I've just got the mint portion today. Oh, Fifi. What are you doing? She just keeps looking over at me like, what you got? Huh? You having fun up there? I think she is. Did you listen to Deftones as a teen? Yes, but I wasn't like big into them. I think I could maybe like think of a couple of songs of theirs, but I was never like basically if it was on Kerrang, I listened to it, but I never had any of their albums. I don't know. Maybe was it like White Pony or something? Was that like their big one? But yeah, I wasn't big into them. No. Rip Kerrang, I know. Cutting out Kerrang magazine and sticking it on my wall. That was the good times. My music tastes have changed so much over the years. I know, it's like I had a bit of like a scary moment yesterday where because basically I'm doing this like song a day for 30 days thing on Instagram, and it said like one of the things, the one I did yesterday, it was like preteen music. So I was like, oh, what did I listen to? It's like, because there's obviously bands I grew up listening to, and I was like, but they're not preteen. And then I was looking up when these albums came out, and I was like Pablo Honey, Every You and Every Me, all of the, and they were all like 99, and I was like, oh my gosh, these were my preteen songs, because in my mind I was like, no, I started listening to those when I was like 14, but no. So much of it was preteen music. I can't remember what I settled for in the end. I guess because it didn't feel like that was preteen, I went for something that was very early, which was like Robbie Williams, because I used to listen to Take That and Robbie Williams when I was a child, but I didn't realize like how early I moved over into listening to like other stuff. Oh, and like Travis, because I remember thinking like I really want Travis to be the first band I ever go and see live. And then the first band I actually saw live was so I obviously wanted to see Travis then, but then I was looking at like when The Man Who came out and all of that stuff, and I was like, I must have just listened to it so much earlier. Then I realised. Which is, I mean, I imagine that I would have, my first band I ever saw live was Evanescence. I guess technically, wait, where did it cut out? What won't you know? You cut out for a minute there. Oh. What was the last thing? What was the last thing I said? What did you hear? Beep, 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 beep. Do, 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 do. I had another British magazine that's basically posted this, but for pop stars. There was all like, oh, the first band I saw live was Linkin Park, but technically the first band I saw live was the Dilated Peoples, because they were the support band for Linkin Park. So technically I saw them. And the only thing I remember of them is that they had a rap version of that Edgar Allan Poe thing where they were like, who's that knocking? Who's that knocking on my chamber door? It's Mr. Raven. They all shouted that bit. That is like seared into my memory forever, because I just remember being. But yeah, the first band I saw was Incubus. Oh, that is a good first band. Britney Spears. See, I imagine that would have been a very good show. But yeah, I got to go and see Incubus, and I got to meet them as well, which was very lovely. But the guy who took a photo of us meeting them, they were like, okay, let's all get a group photo and then I'll email it to you, because this was in the days before phones had cameras on, really. And I remember we all had to like give him our email addresses and stuff, and then he never sent them out. Just never sent us the photos, and we had no way to contact him. So I never got to see that photo. The only thing I have as proof is I do have a signed album, but that is it. That is it. Wait, they didn't even show up? Oh my gosh, Rob. Oh dear. Gerry, would you like some mint? Would him like him mint? I missed my chance to see Linkin Park live because I left the show early. Oh no! Oh, that's stinky. That is stinky. Right, let's... Hello, Sienna. A beep, beep, beep. I'm worried that Jerry's going to run out and... Okay, no, I'm safe. I was scared to walk forward in case he... Here you go. Oh, Jerry, he's sensitive to mint at the moment. Him, baby boy. Okay, Fifi, you have this. Let's see if I can go and entice he. Jerry! I know he's very strong, isn't it? But you're a strong boy too. Quick, Jerry. Quick. You got a little bit, didn't you? Oh, Fifi. Oh, Fifi. She's so scrappy. Oh. Casey, thank you very much for the 34 months. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. You still hungry? Oh, just like me. Always hungry. Oh, apart from last night, bloomin' egg. I ate so much last night. It was one of those things that I was like, I've probably cooked enough for 3, but I'll just serve it all up because I don't want it to go to waste. So, and because we're going away, I was like, oh, we won't have time to have it, so we just eat it all now. And oh my gosh, I was so full. I was so full. And then I had dessert because I refused to learn from any of my mistakes. Dear, oh dear. I still feel pretty full now. What were you asking? Is mint good for buns? Used to have mint in their pellets. Yes, they can have. It can be bad if they have too much of it. But it can be good for their tummies. And they do like it. Even though Jerry's grumpily face whenever he eats it wouldn't have you believe it. But yeah, it is like a good, like, general thing for them to have. But it can cause tummy problems if they have too much. But the last time I saw the vet, they gave me like a list of things that are a bit lower in calcium for the buns, because as they get older, they can have, like, they're a bit more susceptible to like sludgy wee, things which are high in calcium, such as kale and spinach, can cause. So yeah, I'm trying to give them more low calcium things now. But they can still have spinach every now and then. They had a little bit of spinach. Sludgy wee was my nickname in high school. Oh no. Oh no. That vet made that up. No, this is a very common thing with bunnies. You do have to watch out for the sludgy wee. Small poos and sludgy wee. Terrible duo. Do you ever lie on the floor and let the buns walk/lay on you? Yeah, I wish they would lie on me. Like Fifi will jump on you, and Gerry will very rarely jump on you, but I lie on the floor a lot of the time. Um, just usually when I get in, I'll just let the buns out and then I'll lie on the floor and then I'll just grab whichever one of them will come near me and be like, snuggle time. The best way to what do you call it, to like lure like you folded a pastry over and it has excess pastry off to the side, but the filling is on one side, so you basically lie so that he has space to lie down on the blanket, sort of thing, with it only folding a little bit of you. Oh no, is it F again? Why does this keep on happening? Oh, bye bye, David. I hope you have good luck in your interview. Be good. I hope it goes well. But yes. I wonder why it keeps on, because before when we were having the little Fs, I wasn't even under the table, so I don't think it's the table that's doing it. Very odd. My bunny would lie on my chest a lot, which sometimes was a problem if he got startled because claws. Aww. Yeah, I wish the bunnies would like lie on me more and like jump up on the sofa and snuggle and stuff, but not these buns. They're not particularly. Very, very rarely, like 3 times a year, Gerry will jump up and settle on the sofa with you and you can give him a little cuddle, but it less so now. I think jumping down is getting a bit too much for he, so he doesn't tend to come up and join us anymore. Fifi just doesn't sit still long enough for cuddles. She has to be in a cuddly mood and you approach her, so she wouldn't like come over and seek cuddles on the sofa, sadly. I was thinking about getting him a ramp or like getting him some little stairs or something, but I don't think he'd used them. I've made like makeshift ones before and like putting his bed next to the sofa, and he sort of will be interested in it, but then he'll be like, nah. Well, I guess it is time for me to head off. I need to get a little bit of work done before I head into the office. If we have do we have a list of suspects we can rate? Yes. Shall we go to Viz? Can go to Vizty. And I will run off, finish my work, and then get the bus. Hopefully I'll finish my book on the bus home today, and then I can start a new book for the weekend in Birmingham, which would be nice. But yeah, everyone, I won't be back on this channel for the rest of the week now, until Tuesday morning, because I am going away, but I will be on Yogscast. Sorry, I can just hear Fifi scampering around. I will be on Yogscast at 2 for Tears of the Kingdom, which will be my last stream of the week, and then 4 days off. Blimey. Fifi, please don't chew through that. Oh, jeez. Well, Fifi, I will speak to you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Fifi. Thank you. What are you up to? You can't chew through that cable. No, I mean, you physically could, but you should not. I would advise against it. It would be bad. Oh, bunnies. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Those little booties. Cute. Right. Thank you, everyone. Hello, Lifelike. Bye-bye, Lifelike. Bye-bye. Boop.